Hi, my name is Bill Staples. I'm currently head of commercial for cyber at NHS England. I've been enrolled since July 2022. I hold a master's in cybersecurity or information security, specialised in cybersecurity from Royal Holloway, University of London, graduated 2018. So I started off at British Telecom back in 1998, and I realised quickly that the fibre, the dark fibre or light fibre, and the kind of copper wire twisted pair NT1 device, I believe, was a commodity. And actually the information flowing through it and the corruption and the CIA model, which I mean confidentiality, integrity and availability, that was key. If you don't have confidential or available or integrally structured data, you don't have a lot. So I pivoted around about 1998. So I was an early adopter. I got into databases, because that's where a lot of the value's held. And then got into protecting databases, and that kind of brought me along that natural flow. So to launch a nuclear missile, so if you think about it, a helicopter engine's expensive, millions. You can employ 200 retired or unemployed journalists, university lecturers, etc., to rewrite French history, and that's what they're doing. So there's a lot of proxy organisations out there. When I was with the army, I can't go into too much detail, but suffice to say that we found Russia and China passing information, basically publishing stories like the Queen's got COVID, the Queen, God bless her, God rest her soul, had passed on to her corgis or caught it from her corgis. Kind of wild stories, but very clickbaity. So we found that they were spoofing the coding around these stories, HTML, etc. They were buying up to bankrupt newspapers in India and Africa and South America and Central America, and they were kind of clickbaiting these stories between each other and hyperlinking them. So you have to just be, the wolf is at the door, and it's a big wolf, and it's a multi-headed hydra wolf. I think the battle that we've kind of won in the NHS is that cyber is now fully recognised, it's well staffed, it's well funded. People understand that if you're in the car park and you find a USB key, don't stick it in your computer. Most computers won't be able to physically put it in anyhow, but don't. People understand the need for cyber training, they see the threat. So the NHS is around £19.1 billion a year investment with the British government. But to recover it would be about £9 billion. If we lost it completely, like the HSC went down quite badly. At least, even on a good day, a few billion. Patient records in Australia, HIV status blood tests were published, that paste bin type thing. That led to people not having HIV tests and proliferating HIV. Basically, the British Army needs to always watch its P's and Q's. To have the British Army snooping around, let's say, surveilling GPs, and seeing if they're positive or negative about COVID vaccines, they need to have a Home Office warrant or a letter of to do so. Overall, the British Army is well funded. We are pretty much on top of it, but if you think of it, it's a battle of a million needles in a trillion haystacks. So our sympathies go to anyone who has a bad day. It can happen. Anyone doing a NIST, a CISP, or a master's or a bachelor's, you'll probably find there's more meat on the bone in a bachelor's in cybersecurity. The master's can be quite theoretical, and I'd stress to anyone, if you're going through it, make sure it's a GCHQ or NCSC accredited course. Without that, it's not written, worth the paper it's not written on. Stay track A. Track A is normally the high-tech track. Things like the CyberSpark initiative that I'm here at today, watching and surveying, overseeing with Ricky, is in Dundalk, a great event for fairly young people to get their heads around stuff. Have a well-written CV, not many typos, etc. If you think of it, a typo, it's a flaw. And a flaw is an exploitable weakness. So from my perspective, I would say self-taught is really nice. Hands-on technical. If somebody says to me, built a PC from scratch, or I've taken my laptop apart with a screwdriver, loving that. If somebody can tell me, what piece of RAM is, so I'm doing it with my son at the moment, we're looking at computers. We're not touching anything kind of toxic. So building databases, building web pages, all the basic stuff, forms databases. So if somebody can send me a database, if their CV stored in a database and it prints out like that, loving that. So theory's great, but it's easier. Theory never changes too much, but it's cheap to acquire. Whereas the deep dive technical stuff, as I say, if you've got a course you can go down, and there's a course that as a kind of column A, that's the more technical. Go down that if you can. Master your theory, but master your technical more. Network well, maintain a good CV, learn new stuff. Always try to defeat yourself. And with that, I'd say you're in a good position to go forward.